You keep forgiving them, thinking it makes you the better person. But here's what no one told you. Every time you forgive without boundaries, you're not healing the relationship. You're teaching them exactly how much they can hurt you and get away with it. If this hits different than what you expected to hear today, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments, what's the hardest boundary you've never been able to set? I read every single comment, and your truth might be exactly what saves someone else today. Let's talk about something that's going to sting a little. You've been told that forgiveness is noble, that it sets you free, that it makes you spiritually evolved. And yes, forgiveness can be healing, but not the way you've been doing it. What you're calling forgiveness, it's actually emotional surrender. You're waving the white flag before the war is even over, before they've shown any real change, before they've earned the right to hurt you again. Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to acknowledge. Your forgiveness has become their permission slip. Every time you say it's okay when it's not okay, you're signing a contract that says, you can do this to me again, and they will. Because you taught them they could. You're sitting there right now, probably thinking about that person who keeps hurting you. The one who knows exactly what to say to make you fold. The one who has turned your compassion into their weapon of choice. They don't respect your forgiveness. They expect it. They count on it. They budget for it like a business expense. Nathaniel Brandon, who spent decades studying self-esteem and healthy relationships, understood something crucial. Self-respect and forgiveness must work together, not against each other. When you forgive someone who hasn't changed, who hasn't acknowledged the damage, who hasn't shown any real remorse, you're not practicing healthy forgiveness. You're practicing self-abandonment. And self-abandonment becomes a habit. It becomes your default response to pain, to conflict, to disappointment. You abandon yourself so quickly, so completely, that you don't even realize you're doing it anymore. Think about the last time someone hurt you deeply. What did your forgiveness actually accomplish? Did it stop them from hurting you again? Did it create more respect in the relationship? Or did it just make things temporarily comfortable while the real problem festered underneath? Be honest. How many times have you forgiven the same person for the same behavior? How many times have you reset the relationship back to zero, wiping the slate clean, only to watch them write the same hurtful words on it again? The more you forgive without requiring change, the more control you hand over. Because now they know your breaking point isn't really a breaking point. It's just a rest stop before you welcome them back in. They've learned that your never again means maybe next time. They've learned that your tears don't lead to consequences, just to reconciliation. They've learned that your pain is temporary, but their access to you is permanent. Here's what's really happening in your nervous system when you forgive too quickly. You're teaching your body that danger is acceptable. You're training yourself to override your own instincts, to silence the part of you that says, this isn't safe. Your body keeps the score, even when your mind tries to forgive and forget. Your nervous system remembers every betrayal, every broken promise, every time you chose their comfort over your safety. And over time, that creates a split inside you. Part of you wants to trust, wants to believe, wants to hope. But another part of you is constantly braced for impact, waiting for the other shoe to drop, expecting to be hurt again. That's not peace. That's hypervigilance disguised as forgiveness. The narcissist in your life has studied your forgiveness patterns like a PhD dissertation. They know exactly how much damage they can do before you start to pull away. They've mapped out your emotional territory, and they know exactly where all the exits are. And more importantly, they know you'll never actually take them. They know that if they push too hard, all they have to do is apologize, not change, not grow, not take responsibility, just apologize, and you'll crumble every time. I'm sorry I was having a bad day. You know I love you. I'll never do it again. You're overreacting. I already apologized. What more do you want? Why are you bringing up the past? I thought we were past this. These aren't apologies. These are manipulation techniques designed to reset your boundaries back to zero. And your instant forgiveness? It's their reward for bad behavior. When you forgive someone who hasn't changed, you're not being loving. You're being convenient. You're making their life easier while making your life smaller. You're teaching them that your words don't matter. that your boundaries are negotiable, that your pain is acceptable collateral damage in their pursuit of what they want. Real forgiveness, the kind Brandon wrote about, requires something most people aren't willing to demand: accountability. Not just "I'm sorry," but "I'm sorry, I understand how I hurt you, here's what I'm going to do differently, and here's how you'll know I'm serious about changing." Real forgiveness requires acknowledgement of the specific harm caused. It requires genuine remorse, not just regret at being caught. It requires a plan for how things will be different. It requires consistent behavior change over time. But here's what happens when you demand real accountability from someone who's been controlling you through your forgiveness. They get angry. They call you unforgiving. They say you're holding grudges. They make you feel guilty for not immediately wiping the slate clean. That anger, that's not hurt, that's control being threatened, because they know that if you stop forgiving them so easily, they'll actually have to change their behavior, and change is hard. Control is easy. They'll tell you that real love means forgiving unconditionally. They'll quote scriptures at you, or spiritual platitudes, or therapy concepts they don't actually understand. They'll make you feel small and petty and unenlightened for requiring basic respect. But here's what they won't tell you. Unconditional forgiveness is a therapist's tool, not a relationship requirement. It's something you do for your own healing, in your own time, for your own peace. It's not something you owe another person, especially not someone who's actively harming you. You think you're keeping the peace by forgiving quickly, but you're actually enabling war. You're allowing someone to keep attacking your worth, your boundaries, your sense of self, all while telling yourself you're being the bigger person. The bigger person doesn't make themselves smaller to accommodate someone else's inability to respect them. Every time you forgive without requiring change, you're sending a message to your own nervous system. Your pain doesn't matter. Your boundaries don't matter. Your instincts are wrong. And over time, that message becomes your internal voice. You stop trusting yourself. You stop believing your own experience. You start questioning whether you're overreacting, whether you're asking for too much, whether you deserve better treatment. You start gaslighting yourself before they even have to. That's not forgiveness, that's learned helplessness. That's trauma bonding. That's your survival system getting hijacked by someone who benefits from your confusion. You've become addicted to the relief that comes after you forgive. That temporary peace, that sense of resolution, that feeling like maybe this time will be different. But it's not resolution, it's just postponement. You're not solving the problem, you're just hitting the snooze button on your own pain. And every time you hit that snooze button, the alarm gets a little quieter. Your instincts get a little dimmer. Your boundaries get a little fuzzier. Until one day you wake up and you can't remember what it felt like to trust yourself. The people who truly love you don't want to be forgiven for hurting you over and over. They want to stop hurting you. They want to change the behavior, not just escape the consequences. They want to earn back your trust, not demand it as a right. They want to be worthy of your forgiveness, not entitled to it. But the controllers, the emotional abusers, the people who see your heart as something to exploit, they love your quick forgiveness. It's their get-out-of-jail-free card. It's what allows them to keep you in the cycle of hurt, hollow apology, forgiveness, repeat. They've turned your greatest strength, your capacity for compassion, into your greatest weakness. They've weaponized your love against you. You've been taught that withholding forgiveness makes you bitter. But what actually makes you bitter is forgiving people who haven't changed, who don't respect you, who take your forgiveness as permission to hurt you again. What makes you bitter is betraying yourself over and over in the name of being a good person. What makes you bitter is realizing years later that your forgiveness never changed them. It only changed you. It made you smaller, more afraid, less trusting of your own experience. Here's what they never tell you about forgiveness. It's supposed to free you, not trap you. It's supposed to end cycles, not perpetuate them. It's supposed to restore relationships, not enable their destruction. If your forgiveness is making the relationship worse, if it's making you feel worse, if it's making them treat you worse, then it's not forgiveness. It's capitulation. Here's what healthy forgiveness actually looks like. I can forgive what happened, but I can't pretend it didn't happen. I can forgive you, but I can't trust you until you show me real change. I can release my anger, but I can't release my boundaries. That's not being unforgiving. That's being honest about what love actually requires from both people. Your forgiveness is sacred. It's not something you hand out like free samples at the grocery store. It's something you offer when it's safe, when it's earned, when it actually serves healing instead of serving their convenience. The person who gets angry at you for not forgiving them immediately. They're telling you everything you need to know about their intentions. They're not sorry for hurting you. They're sorry you're not making it easy for them to keep hurting you. They're not apologizing to you. They're apologizing to the version of you that makes their life easier. The version that doesn't ask questions, doesn't require change, doesn't have inconvenient feelings or needs. Stop making it easy. Your heart deserves protection, not exposure. You deserve consistency, not cycles. You deserve change, not just apologies. You deserve someone who would rather cut off their own hand than hurt you again. Not someone who hurts you and then gets angry at you for bleeding. You are not a rehabilitation center for people who refuse to do the work. You are not responsible for making other people comfortable with their bad behavior. You are responsible for honoring your own worth. The right people will respect your boundaries around forgiveness. They'll understand that trust must be rebuilt, not just restored. They'll do the work to prove they've changed, not just demand that you believe they have. The wrong people will weaponize your compassion against you. They'll use your desire to be good, to be loving, to be forgiving, as a way to keep you accepting treatment you'd never accept for anyone else you loved. Learn the difference. Your peace depends on it. Your future depends on it. Your ability to trust yourself depends on it. Stop forgiving your way into smaller and smaller versions of yourself. Start requiring the respect that makes forgiveness actually mean something.